For the fifth straight day, protesters have taken to the streets of Cairo this morning as President Hosni Mubarak refuses to step down and end his 30-year rule. Egyptian security officials say at least 38 people have died and 2,000 have been injured in this week's violence. CBS News correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is in the Egyptian capital, where it is already Saturday afternoon. Elizabeth, what's the latest?
The phones have been restored here. As you know, we've been without communication, but the quality is not very good. So forgive me and my hand up here. I want to draw your attention to Freedom Square behind me. That's been the front line in this uprising, and it's filling again with thousands and thousands of people. They're coming from all directions. This is in marked contrast, because they're marching freely, in marked contrast to the scenes that we witnessed yesterday.
The running battles between protesters and Egyptian police carried on late into the night. Demonstrators fought back against volleys of tear gas and rubber bullets. And at last they broke through police lines and flowed into the city's central Freedom Square. Egyptians went to sleep having seen and on a huge scale taken part in a historical event. Many dared hope the president would be forced to resign. But after midnight, when Hosni Mubarak finally addressed the nation, it became clear he wasn't going anywhere. But he conceded, going to fire the cabinet. At almost the same time, the army rolled into the streets. People woke up to find soldiers manning checkpoints across the city and tanks parked at strategic points. So far, the crowds haven't been hostile to the military, which doesn't have the same reputation for brutality and corruption as the police. The crowds are building up again today, and in what's been so far a popular uprising, some leaders may be emerging. Opposition MP and anti-corruption crusader Mustafa Bakri led a march of about 2,000 people from Cairo's Freedom Square. The demonstrators still want to see the end of Mubarak, and they don't believe the vague promises he made in his speech about creating jobs and giving Egyptians more democracy. While the world's attention has been focused on Cairo, similar demonstrations are taking place all over Egypt. In Suez, about 2 hours away, the violent unrest is now in its fifth day, and at least 12 people have been killed. With the army and the demonstrators both out in force again today, the future of Egypt hangs in the balance.
Has resigned. So people are wondering who's in charge here. It's not clear. It is pretty obvious that the army is holding the high cards, and everybody's waiting for a sign. They want to know whether the army is going to support President Hosni Mubarak in his bid to stay in power, or whether they're going to send a message to him that he's too much of a liability. If he stays, the country descends into chaos, and so they will engineer his departure and impose some kind of stability, which could, in fact, amount to a military coup. Russ?
With Palmer in a chaotic Cairo this morning, we will see you later in the broadcast. Thank you.